a ride on Tony the Pony. Come take a ride on Tony the Pony. Please take a ride on Tony the Pony with Mr. Pineapple. Oh yeah, it's Mr. Pineapple's Wonder Hour.
Hello and welcome to Mr. Pineapple's Wonder Hour, the show where we talk big pineapples, small pineapples, hairy pineapples, and everything in between. I am your host, Tony the Pony, and with me, as always, is the one and only, the incredible Mr. Pineapple. How are you, mate? He's drinking that water.
I'm alright.
Yeah?
I'm still ill. I've been ill for like 6 weeks now.
Yeah.
It's not hot.
Fun, is it?
No.
We're joined, aren't we? He's back. Sexy Knees is in the house.
The fans were clamoring for it. They were like, we like that bastard. Let's get him back on.
That necrophiliac child fucker.
He does.
Glad to be back.
He does want to fuck dead kids.
Jesus. How are you? You got your little coffee? You're like, ooh, I'm professional.
I know, I'm trying to stay awake.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Did you have a late night?
No, after you rang me, I just fell asleep. So, been asleep like 11 hours, but
Jesus.
just really tired anyway.
You've obviously... Yeah, mate. That's what your problem is.
What's that?
You've overslept.
Yeah, probably.
You know. No, it's the weekend, and it's what they're made for.
Got to treat yourself, haven't you?
Big time. Especially at this time of year, mate.
How much sleep did you get, Mr. Pineapple?
Mr. Pineapple didn't get to sleep straight away, as he said he wouldn't. And then he went to sleep at some point.
Nice.
So, yeah, that's that. Woke up to take a piss because I'm old.
I watched 2 films last night.
You watched 2? What was the other one?
Well, I watched The Amusement Park.
Yeah.
That was 8. Then I watched The Voyeurs.
Oh, I saw the thing for that the other day, actually. It's about them people who watch people banging.
Watch the couple across from them banging you.
Yeah.
And then it gets all dark and sinister. It's alright. Gave it 3 stars on Letterboxd.
We saw the trailer for that one, didn't we,
I think so, yeah. Yeah. It's got that guy out of Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom.
Sam Neill.
No. The black
T-Rex.
guy.
T-Rex.
The tech guy.
I'm Googling him.
Tech
now.
guy.
With the glasses.
Richard Ayoade from IT Crowd.
Basically, yeah. But American version.
Richard Ayoade. Because he was in the American version of the IT Crowd.
He was.
Is it Justice Smith?
Sure.
That is a very American name.
It might be Justice Smith.
It's also
He
got
is actor known for Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom, and Pokemon Detective Pikachu.
That's what he's in, yeah.
Who does he play in that?
Let's have a look.
What, in The Voyeurs?
No, in Pokemon.
Tim Goodman.
He plays the main guy.
Ryan Reynolds.
Have you got a hairy pineapple for us?
You think I'll do?
Yeah? But you don't.
Right. It's Christmas, isn't it?
It is.
There's a fucking tree behind that one there.
It's on. But the
And you're in a bed. What's more Christmassy than that? You know? So let's talk about Christmas shit.
Yeah?
You ready?
Yeah.
You got any Christmas traditions?
Don't
Are
think
you
so.
Are you a presents before dinner or a presents after dinner kind of person?
Before, normally, but this year's going to be a bit different because we've got people living in various places and
Oh, yeah.
get here and stuff. So I don't know what the exact plan is, but they better be here before fucking dinner. Otherwise, I'm kicking off. What about you guys?
We always have a after dinner present. So we open all the other presents before dinner.
Yeah.
And then you have the big one after dinner.
So fucking posh, aren't you?
Yeah, proper. Because we're always like, where's the after dinner present? And we're like, we ain't got it this year.
Because we're greedy
lying
fuckers.
bastard. Yeah.
Or like, no after dinner present this year. And we're like, yeah, of course.
Give me my PS5. You know what I mean? And then you'd open like stuff like games and stuff for a console you ain't got yet. And you're like, well, I know what I'm getting after dinner.
Those are the classic ones, aren't they? Like opening PS2 games. Mum, I don't have a PS2.
Jeez. Parents. Dumb fuckers, aren't they?
Yeah.
So, do you watch any specific films on like specific days, like Christmas Eve or anything? Or
Not really. I mean, I try to make sure I always watch The Grinch,
the Jim Carrey one or the
Yeah.
animated?
Jim Carrey.
Right.
But that's about it. With films, really.
Really?
Just whack whatever's on.
Do you watch Die Hard every year?
No.
You've got to watch Die Hard every year.
The films on at Christmas time now are just not Christmas films. I don't get it. It's like Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter.
Yeah,
You're
but
like,
Lord of the Rings is a good watch. Isn't it?
It's 'cause all the blockbusters used to get their like TV premiere at Christmas time, so that's why
mm,
they're always like synonymous with the season and stuff. What films that aren't Christmassy remind you of like the festive period? Because for me, like The Great Escape is something I try and watch around this time of year every year. You know what I mean? Because it's like always on, or like Chick Chitty Bang Bang and that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
I wouldn't say I go out my way to try and watch them. But films like Chitty Chitty Bang Bang and stuff like that do remind me of Christmas.
Like Mary Poppins.
Yeah.
Mm.
Musicals. All right
Yeah.
now.
Sound of Music's always on as well.
Yeah, it's always on because it's long. And there's no more festive than Nazis, is there?
True.
So, where like there's the Nazi hill and that she's singing on. And there's that tank blows up that kid.
I only really remember the bit where they do like the dance on stage and then slowly disappear one by one. That's like the only bit that sticks in my memory.
I've
Yeah.
never seen it. So.
It's a good film.
So all I know of it is the famous bit on the hill.
The Nazi.
Yeah.
What about you, Sexy Knees? Any specific films you try and watch, or
Not really.
TV specials or anything?
I like to watch Peep Show Christmas Special because that's a classic one, isn't
It is pretty banging.
it? Lilo and Stitch weirdly reminds me of Christmas as well, but I think that just reminds me of every day of the year because I used to watch it that much.
Yeah.
So it's a good film though.
Yeah,
We used to watch it like 3 times before going to bed.
every day of the year for like
That's
3 years.
That's a lot of Lilo and Stitch time.
Banging film though. No, I
It is
mean, and
good.
there's Elvis
It's-
in it.
Well, when you put in like the VHS and then it plays and then it's got the auto rewind feature and then it just plays again. So you might as well just stay in bed watching it, couldn't you?
Yeah, it's fair.
Because we're both lazy and didn't want to get out of bed to turn it off. I think that's the main reason.
You're gonna wear out your tape. You have to buy a new copy.
I don't mind buying. I think we got the use out of the first one, so I don't mind buying the second one. That and El Dorado.
Oh,
Oh, it's a good. That's
film.
that's underrated. That film.
You said you banged the woman out that film.
I got that film for surviving, not dying at hospital.
True.
That
What did you survive?
I had like a lump in my throat, and I had
Oh.
to be on like antibiotics to get rid of it. But I were in hospital for like 2 weeks.
Nice.
I
Got
don't
a film.
remember.
Got a film out of it though.
I remember having weird, vivid dreams, and Anthony said that I dreamt of a giant moth one night or something like that.
Very nice.
But most of the time, I just spent playing because they had like consoles you could wheel in,
Yeah.
but they were like the proper old ones. So I was playing Donkey Kong Country on SNES like the entire time.
Nice. Christmas and illness.
A classic combination.
What time do you
Hey,
guys do
you
dinner? What time do you guys do dinner on Christmas? Are you early or late?
It's usually quite late. It's like
Yeah.
well, I've known people who have like dinner at like midday, so like 12. But we normally have ours at like 4 or 5ish.
Yeah.
yeah. What about you?
It varies. It varies. Not any time in between 12 and 5. Whenever it arrives. Arrives. You know. And there's not, I like yourselves, there's not many Christmas films I will actively plan to watch other than like Die Hard, Lethal Weapon, The Bottom TV Christmas special, and I watch The Raid every Christmas Eve because it's tradition. And I'll be watching it again this Christmas Eve, watching people get fucked up with kicks and punches. What better way to spend Christmas Eve? There's a lot of drugs in it, right? So it looks like snow.
Oh, there you go
Like
then.
that one Harold and Kumar film.
Yeah. Well, that's today's Shitty Airy Pineapple. Join us next week for more shitty Christmas talk.
Christmas talk.
Top
Right,
5
let's-
Christmas songs next week, mate.
Just
Yeah.
top 5.
About top 5, I mean, we'll just talk about what ones we like a bit.
Yeah,
Alright.
I can give you
cool.
my top one,
Go on then.
the Darkness one.
It's a good track. A very good track. It's that good
I
that you
believe
don't
nothing
even know the
but
name of it.
Exactly. Yeah, but you know when it's on, don't you? Do you know what I mean? I'm gonna
It's
Google
got
it now.
Christmas in the title.
Darkness Christmas song. Christmas time. Open brackets. Don't let the bells end. Close brackets. There you go.
I've seen The Darkness perform that song live. It was hot shit.
Nice. Was it at Christmas time?
It was like late November.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
And I was in the front row as well.
The front row.
Yeah.
Well,
Hated every
that's
second
good.
of it. People jumping up behind me, rubbing their cocks on me. Fucking bastards.
All right.
Tony would have enjoyed that.
Just wanted to watch some good music.
Yeah.
Fucking bastards. Well, that's a good shout. It's a cracking song.
I'm just saying it because I probably won't be here next week, so.
Off to
Not in like a depressing way, but you'll probably do the podcast without me, so that's fine.
I mean, that's a depressing way as well, isn't it?
Oh,
He wants to be on every episode. That's what he's saying.
It's the fans, the clamour for it, mate.
I don't blame him, to be honest. The knees are out today, but, you know, we've got to keep it PG, haven't we?
Right, should we do these small pineapples?
Yeah, let's do it.
Trailers. We didn't have any last night, but we've got some this morning. Mr. Pineapple threw 2 in. So we've only got 2 trailers this week, but, you know, they're alright ones. Let's start with Texas Chainsaw Massacre, shall we?
Let's.
What did you think?
Me?
Yeah, because you're the man, aren't you?
He is a man who likes chainsaw massacres.
He's got his on his arm, mate. Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not a good year.
Obviously, it's doing the Halloween thing, and it's a direct sequel to the OG. From what I've been trying to gather, right, on the internet,
Yeah.
they're trying to claim that Leatherface disappeared after the happenings in the first film,
Mm-hmm.
and then he went on to try and live the life of a good guy,
Yeah.
right? And this is a man who likes wearing, human skin masks and stuff, and who is, for want of a better phrase, a great big fucking retard.
Jesus Christ.
I've got the quote from the I think it's a director that's explaining it. Do you want me to read that?
Yeah.
I think that's probably a better turn of phrase, isn't it?
He says it's basically the same character who's still alive. Our take on it was the guy probably disappeared after everything he's done. You know, how do you catch a guy who has a mask? Once he removes the mask and runs away, it's very easy for him to hide somewhere. The story will pick up many, many years after the original story. He's been in hiding for so long time. Oh wait, no. He'd been hiding for a very long time, trying to be a good person. These people arriving in this town are going to awaken the giant. When I say direct sequel, I wouldn't say it skips everything. When movies do that, sometimes it feels a bit disrespectful to all the other movies. Some people love Texas Chainsaw 2. I love a lot of things about that movie. It's so wacky and of its time, but the rest is such a mess, canon-wise. I think it's up to you to decide when and how the other events happen. So yeah, like you say, he's They've Dextered him, haven't they?
I can see the pain on Mr. P's face as you were reading that out.
Just let
He's
it
trying
die.
to be a
Let it die, please.
trying to be a good person, and then a bunch of kids go and piss him off, and he's like, you know what? I'm getting my chainsaw out again. It's
I'm not
buried
that
in this
good
fucking.
person. Yeah, I've got my wall chainsaw, my mask. Just had them there for 15 years. Went perfectly fine when I get them out of that wall. Fucking disgusting.
You don't like it. They've tried to Dexter him, mate.
Fucking. I'm gonna have to watch it though.
Yeah,
I
properly.
don't like from what they show trailer wise. It looks all right though.
I do like the bit where the woman's crawling underneath the house, and
Yeah.
then he's like,
I did like that.
So they'll probably just make the story a complete mess, but maybe it'll be all right as like just a film on its own. I don't know. I'm trying to stay optimistic here. I know you don't want to be, but
I mean, well, I'll be watching it in February when it drops. The famous horror month.
that is the new fucking October, isn't it? February. They're
Yeah.
all coming out. Is this coming on Netflix then? 'Cause
Yeah.
Netflix. Isn't it?
And I'm sure we'll probably do some kind of pineapple-based item on it. So,
Yeah. We'll watch it and then decide if it's big pineapple worthy. Sure. No, it's got to be on it, even if we fucking despise it.
yeah.
Well, I guess we don't have to talk about the other Texas Chainsaw Massacre stuff. That's in the small pineapples now.
Yeah.
Because they released a fucking picture of him.
So, yeah, there was a few images dropped of the cast of teens and the silhouette of Leatherface.
Leatherface.
I see.
But, yeah, fuck it. Next trailer, though. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Part 1.
Yeah.
Part 1, yeah.
More of just a tease of this boy, weren't it?
Yeah. You know, it starts off with Miles in his bedroom having a wank over Gwen Stacy. And she's like, Miles, you dirty, dirty boy. Through a hexagon thing. And yeah, when she's like, come with me, let's go to the multiverse.
So it's kind of like a reverse of the first film's plot. So Miles is going to go through other people's universes instead of them coming to him.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm there for it, though.
He's just shut down the whole film.
I've not in a negative way. I'm just saying that's what it's looking to be.
And it looks like Big Boy Spider-Man, is it 2099?
29, yeah.
Is the antagonist, but probably going to turn good and then team up with him or something.
He's
but your
played
boy,
by Oscar Isaac, I believe.
yeah, that's why I said we'll be talking about him. The man that can't deny any role, Oscar Isaac. Already in Marvel as Mr. Moon Knight Boy. Now he's voicing a Spider Boy. Do you think we'll see all the other Spider-Men from the last one
I'm hoping so.
back in it? Or at least like some of the main Peter Parker.
Just give me Nicolas Cage. That's all I want.
He was really good, to be fair. They probably won't bring back the Japanese one or Spider-Ham.
Maybe. I hope they do some like other variations. That'd be
Oh yeah, definitely.
cool.
They'll probably bring in some fucking Tom Holland shit or something and ruin it.
What are your thoughts on it being a two-parter?
I don't mind because the first one was like the best Spider-Man film, so.
It is easily top 3 Spider-Man film for sure.
Yeah. What did you think of the different art styles as he was swinging through the different?
I was there for all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I really love the art style of the first one and how it's weird and like 3D glasses weird.
I need to rewatch it.
Me too. I haven't watched it in ages.
Is it on? It was on Netflix for a while, right?
Yeah.
On there.
I think it's still on there, yeah.
Let me check.
I might. I'll watch it tomorrow actually because I'm busy this evening.
I'm just excited for the soundtrack because that soundtrack was
Oh yeah,
banging.
it was good. It's very very good. I wonder if it's got a cassette release.
I don't know, mate.
Possibly.
I'll have to have a look.
Miles looks quite a bit older as well.
Yeah, he talked about his college dorm, didn't he? So he's
Yeah.
obviously banging chicks now with spider powers.
He's definitely going to bang Gwen Stacy.
I hope that's just part 2. The sex Spider-Man into the sex verse,
Nice.
and he's just banging Gwen for
Different kinds of Gwen.
for 2.5 hours.
Just making his way through them all.
And that's the only way for him to save the sex verse by banging all the Gwens,
Oh God.
especially the one where she's dead on the ground. That's the end game.
What, he
mean,
saves that one? Or
No,
that's
he
what
doesn't-
this one he has to...
He don't save her. He has to bang her while she's dead.
Oh, right.
Yeah, dead Gwen bang. He liked it. Look, he's enjoying it.
Should we get on to some news?
I guess we should.
Talking about Spider-Man, Tom Holland has reportedly signed on for 3 more Spider-Man films. It's going to be another Spider-Man trilogy, boys. And I think they
Another one.
need it, to be fair, because they've jumped straight into what should have been probably the last Spider-Man film,
Yeah.
with No Way Home. I'm guessing they're going to take it back after No Way Home and do his own kind of Sinister Six kind of setup trilogy, maybe.
I don't know. It's all.
I can remember hearing something about how this one's going to reboot stuff.
You'd think so.
So it might
Because
just
I
be
think I think he's going to end up killing them all. Because Doctor Strange is they all die by Spider-Man. That's their fate, and that needs to happen again, basically. It's oh, do I have to kill people? So this is going to fuck him up. But I think maybe he'll go away from everything at the end of No Way Home. Maybe he'll go away from MJ and Ned as well, and then they'll start a fresh kind of Peter's in his own bit, and maybe he'll meet Gwen Stacy and Harry through that route. Because I feel the way it might end is everyone forgetting about everything, and even MJ and Ned don't know who Spider-Man is and stuff, and then he'll go off and do his own stuff. I think they might bring MJ and Ned back into it, but
Is Venom in this one, or is he?
I think he'll either be right at the end or he'll be post credits.
Right.
But Kraven the Hunter's supposed to be getting his own film as well, isn't he? So it's kind of setting up, and they've got Morbius,
Yeah.
and the Vulture's still around, and Scorpion's in prison or something. So they've still got all these different Spider-Man villains about. They've just, in No Way Home, they've obviously just used the other Spider-Man villains from the other films.
Yeah.
Because Tom hasn't got any of his villains actually fighting him in No Way Home, has he? Because Mysterio's not in it and
that's
Vulture's
true.
not in it.
Yeah.
I don't think they will. Mysterio might make an appearance, but I don't think Vulture will. I think they've just kind of sidelined him for Morbius and then carry on from there, which is kind of shit. But what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Venom might be in it, and they might say that's his villain. But yeah, another Spider-Man trilogy or
Great.
MCU.
Great time to be a Spider-Man fan.
It is, to be fair. Spider-Man fanboys just everywhere. Other Marvel news, though. John Berthnall says that he won't return as a watered-down version of the Punisher. So that's fun.
That's fair, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously Daredevil's going to be in Spider-Man,
Yeah, I saw that.
and he's not going to be all, I'm going to rip people's heads off and shit like that. So it's fair that he don't want to come back and not make people into pools of blood.
It was a good Punisher as well. I enjoyed that series.
Yeah. Got to agree.
Yeah.
I don't get why they pulled the plug to well, I get why they did it, to obviously move their stuff from Netflix onto Disney Plus, but why did they? I guess it would have been too difficult to transfer the rights or something like that, rather than just ending the series. Because they had multiple series, didn't they? They had
Yeah.
Punisher, Daredevil.
Daredevil had 3 seasons, right?
It did, yeah.
Yeah.
Jessica Jones.
Jessica Jones.
Iron Fist,
Yeah,
And then
And
the
then-
team up one.
Defenders.
yeah.
I think Marvel didn't have as much control over it as they wanted to be fair. So I think, because obviously it was very much, is it in the MCU, is it not? Because they mentioned stuff that happened in the MCU in the shows, but the MCU never acknowledged that these characters exist anywhere.
Yeah.
So I think that's where, I think they probably thought they were going a bit too far, so they're like, no, cancel it. We hold the power. And they probably told Netflix they want to bring Daredevil into Spider-Man or something. Fucking. I think Daredevil can translate pretty easily, though. I
Yeah.
don't think Punisher can, unless they're going to make R-rated films.
Yeah. Oh, it is.
I
I'm a big-
agree.
I'm a big Punisher fan. It's just annoying. And
It's
I
annoying
love
that he debuted in Spider-Man and all, isn't it?
Yeah, it's bullshit. This film should have been that, but I'll not get into it.
No, get into it. That's what we want.
No, it's Christmas. We're not around.
Christmas rants are the best rant. Everyone has a rant at Christmas at some point. Yeah.
It's true.
Let's switch over some DC news, shall we?
No.
Your boy Danny DeVito wants to return as a penguin.
Oh, now that's
He
something
said it's
I'm
not
down.
over yet.
I'm there for that.
Do you know what I watched the other day with Danny DeVito in, and I didn't know he was in it?
Deck the Halls.
No, Jumanji Part 2.
Oh yeah,
I was like, oh my god.
it's a good film.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it more than the first one, actually.
I like them both. I think they're really solid.
I ain't seen him.
You're missing out.
I think they did well because they didn't try to really copy the original too much.
Yeah.
There's only so much of a rocking Kevin Hart that I can take in my life.
That's fair.
So,
That's fair.
See, in the second film, they're a lot different. I'll not spoil it, but they're different to the first film. So
Who played-
I enjoyed Kevin Hart and Rock in the second film more than I did in the first film because they kind of weren't themselves. But you'll have to
oh
watch.
yeah,
it.
doesn't Danny Glover play someone?
He does play someone.
Does he play Kevin Hart? Or am I just being racist?
No, you're being very racist.
No, Kevin Hart plays Danny Glover.
Is Danny DeVito The Rock?
Yeah. So it's like you get like a lot of comedic value, especially from like Kevin Hart. I thought was like one of the funniest in that film, just because of
Danny
the
Glover.
way, yeah, like the way you were, just the way that he played that character is really good.
Nice.
Like compared to his normal stuff, well, Kevin Hart's normally like,
Little man screaming.
yeah, and
All the
in
time.
that he weren't screaming so much. So
Mad Max news. Furiosa's coming out. The prequel.
Oh.
And Yaya Madu blah 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 the second has pulled out the guy that plays new Morpheus in the new Matrix films. And he's also in other films. And I can't remember what films he's in. What films is he in?
Fuck knows.
Nice.
You're the one who normally tells me. I think it's some horror shit.
Yeah. Oh, it was in Candyman, right?
yeah,
Good actor though. Good actor. But yeah, he's pulled out of Mad Max. Yeah. He's lost.
They cast someone whose name I can't remember.
Let's just have a quick look. Mad Max.
They've cast a white guy, I know that much.
Chris Hemsworth.
No.
Tom Burke.
That's the fucker, yeah.
I didn't know Chris Hemsworth was going to be in it though. Chris Hemsworth's in it as well, and he's Australian.
true.
Is he going to be playing Max?
So he's playing Hulk Hogan.
In Mad Max for Furiosa Road.
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage has been cast as Dracula.
Match made in heaven.
He's already been a vampire, and that film was shit.
What film was that?
A vampire's fucking kiss mate.
Oh yeah. Great film.
Is that the one where he
In,
runs down the road screaming, "I'm a vampire"?
I'm a vampire. Yeah. Yeah. This is Renfield. new one with Aquafina in. She's
Nicholas-
also been cast.
Nicholas Hoult is playing Renfield.
Yeah, but she's all right. Nicholas Holt's good boy. Apparently, is this going to be in the Dark Universe?
Possibly.
It's just come up. Dark Universe. Hello, they're still going on, and now Nicolas Cage is in it, so it's going to fucking boost into the stratosphere in it.
We get to review it in about 8 years' time.
Yeah, proper. Dead people, mate.
You want some dead people?
I do.
Who have we got?
David Gopilli.
That's me. Well, he was 68, I know that much.
Oh,
You will be familiar with him if you know anything about Australian cinema. Because he was in like Walkabout and Rabbit Proof Fence and stuff. He was like, what's the word? Indigenous Australian, kind of.
oh yeah, I saw about this. Yeah.
Guy, you know. In a lot of good films, though. He sadly died of lung cancer, which he got a diagnosis of in 2017. Sadly dead. Is he in any sort of Hollywood films? Let's have a look.
Aborigine.
Oh, he's in Crocodile Dundee.
Crocodile Dundee, did you just say?
No, I'm talking about a dead man.
I think you said cock.
But yeah, he's dead, so therefore won't be in any more films.
That's true.
68.
Red Hot Chili
That-
Peppers
that's not-
bassist Flea posted about this on Instagram. That's why I know about it.
Well, there was two things happening there, and I'm
Yeah.
confused.
I was going to say that's not necessarily true because people have been in films after they've died.
All right, coming on our
You just got
podcast.
fucked on, mate. You just got fucked on.
Is it them who have been in it, though, or is it their likeness?
We never know,
Mhm.
because them Hollywood bigwigs, they might have got the bodies and gone.
Turn them into puppets.
Yeah.
Maybe they're all puppets.
That's Hollywood for you, baby. Do out for cash, won't they, these fuckers?
David Draper.
Oh, we've got more dead people.
Yeah.
Right. He was an American bodybuilder, right?
Yeah.
He's probably most famous for being like Schwarzenegger's inspiration. Like,
Oh, nice.
And he was in a couple of films. He was in Lord Love a Duck, classic, you know. He was in an episode of the Beverly Hillbillies, and he was in a sort of American beach party sex comedy from the 60s. That's him. Don't Make Waves. And he died age 79. No cause of death.
He's a big boy, isn't he?
Massive. Dead. We didn't know whether to include him on this podcast or, you know, Pat, because we didn't know if bodybuilding was a sport or not.
I guess like,
So we decided to take the route of including him in both podcasts.
He's bodybuilding at the Olympics.
No.
bodybuilding is a sport, apparently. Olympic sport discussion, bodybuilding. There you go. Oh no, it's attempting to make bodybuilding an Olympic sport.
People at home decide. There we go. Marcus Lamb.
Lamb?
Lamb.
Lamb. Yeah, this guy is really not that famous to people on our side of the ocean, but to Americans he's probably more famous. But I've just included it because it's funny.
Yeah.
He's a televangelist, you know, and he's a lovely, lovely man who likes to spout anti-vax rhetoric. And then he died of COVID, and it's lovely stuff. You just love to see it. And he was 64 and was probably loved by some people, I would imagine. I imagine he's got a family. So I hope they all get vaccinated now that he's gone.
No, it's God's plan, isn't it, mate?
When Lamb fell ill with COVID-19, his son called the infection a spiritual attack from the enemy.
There you go.
Let's hope they all die. Here's hoping. I'm wishing death upon the entire Lamb family and their friends and colleagues.
And they're from.
Everyone
Oh,
in their
boy.
local community.
It's a bad day to be a lamb friend.
Jackie Avant. It's another dead person.
He had many extramarital affairs. What a lovely
Oh, no.
Christian man. Cool. Who's next? Sorry, I was just.
Jackie Avant.
I'm going to assume you said Jackie.
Avant.
Oh, right. I included this story. She's not proper famous. Her husband's more famous. He's like a music producer, but she was like a philanthropist and stuff. And really, really old she was, 81, and she got popped off with a bullet in her home invasion.
Really?
Pop, yeah.
Jesus.
God.
Got an exciting death for once. Here we go.
Exciting.
Their daughter is also married to Netflix co-CEO and chief content officer Ted Sarandos. So they've got that Netflix money. That's
Jesus
probably
Christ.
why it's all been kicking off. Apparently, it's not a random attack. They feel like it was premeditated.
Amazon Prime, innit?
Damn right. But yeah, she's
that's right,
dead.
Netflix money.
She's very dead. Big time dead. She's not going to be in any Netflix stuff anytime soon. That's all I'm saying. Because she's not alive.
And the last person, Eddie Mecca.
Eddie Mecca. American actor. Famous for being on the sitcom Laverne and Shirley, which was a spin-off from Happy Days, of course, as you all know, if you know your sitcom history.
Yeah.
You know? He died at age 69.
Hey.
What other stuff was he in that you might know? He's in Dreamgirls. He's in A League of Their Own. He's in Beaches. He's obviously in Happy Days. He was not in Seinfeld.
Disgusting.
But he was in an episode of Power Rangers Wild Force.
Nice.
Wild Force.
Oh, he's in an episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Very nice.
Plays Bobby Funderson in the boxing episode.
Sure.
The guy who Frank's arguing with all the time in that episode.
Oh, yeah.
You know Tony? You familiar?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, dead.
Well, that is all the dead people. But talking about dead people, Alec Baldwin says that he did not fire the shot. Dun, dun, dun.
The saga
He's lost his
continues.
mind, hasn't he? Surely he's lying.
I don't. He did he's done his first interview since it all happened. That's where all this stuff came from.
Right.
And I don't know. He just
Is it-
seems like a defeated man.
Yeah, I did see that. He said, I am not guilty. There's someone else to blame or something.
Yeah.
But I thought that was him blaming, the weapons master or whatever. Because to be fair, yeah, he did shoot her, but he was instructed.
Yeah, it's not on him.
Shoot the woman.
They
He
have
didn't know.
Yeah, they have prop masters and weapon people on. They have
It's
armor.
almost like there should be no way for a thing to shoot out of something to kill someone on set. But for some reason, there is.
Yeah.
America, innit? Guns and that.
Hmm.
They do like their guns.
We spoke about Russ last time you were on the podcast, didn't we?
We had a big conspiracy theory about it. Or not conspiracy.
But yeah, it's getting boring now.
I'm just waiting
Blame
for
someone.
the Lifetime movie to come out based on this.
Yeah.
But after that,
And the last bit of news. Guillermo del Toro, his horror anthology, Cabinets of Curiosity? Or
Cabinet of
Cabinets
Curiosity.
of Curiosities. The cast has been announced. Let's read some names, shall we? We've got Ben Barnes, mate. He was in that one Netflix MCU Marvel thing. Punisher. Played the Jigsaw Man.
Ooh.
We've got The Walking Dead's Andrew Lincoln. He hasn't been in anything since The Walking
Yeah.
Dead.
Is he? I thought he died or something.
He died in The Walking Dead, didn't he?
I don't
So
know.
maybe.
He didn't die because they're making 3 films with him in.
No, he
Are
didn't
they?
die, actually. Yeah. Because
Uh,
he took him off in a helicopter, you see.
To Hollywood. To make films.
right.
Yeah.
We've got Back to the Future's own Crispin Glover.
Oh, nice. He's always creepy and weird.
We've got The Incredible Hulk's own Tim Blake Nelson.
Oh, nice.
We've got Harry Potter's own Rupert Grint.
Why don't they give me the master?
I know, mate. I
God
know.
damn Tim Blake Nelson.
And then we've got a bunch of other names. Shall I read them all?
No.
Yeah.
They're famous. Go on then.
S.E. Davies.
So women are in it as well.
Yeah. Peter Weller.
Peter Weller, nice.
F. Murray Abraham.
This has got good actors in.
Sebastian Roche.
Don't know what that is.
He's in A Walk Among the Tombstones.
That is that Liam Neeson film.
Six Underground.
That is not a Liam Neeson film.
The Man in the High Castle.
That is a TV show.
David Hewlett. Yeah, he just looks like a random guy. Glyn Turman. The other people you won't know.
Who is the guy at Man in the High Castle?
Sebastian Roche. He plays Reichsminister
Roche.
Martin Huseman, apparently, in The Man in the High Castle.
I watched like the first 3 seasons, but he might not be in them. I don't recognize him.
2016 to 2018.
No, he probably isn't. Let's have a look. Let's have a quick look. I'm curious.
Cabinet of Curiosities.
I didn't like that.
Neither did I. I ate it every second of it coming out of my mouth.
I'll come in your mouth, don't worry. Yeah.
That is queer.
Oh yeah, I know who he is now.
He agrees, oh yeah.
I've got a feeling. Sci-fi don't. It goes electric when you fucking think of my asshole. Boop, 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 boop. Big pineapple time.
And the cage klaxon.
Give you a Cage klaxon.
Oh.
No, it's not Nicolas Cage. Me and Mr. Peasby now. We're not going to watch 3 Nicolas Cage films while dying.
We'll just watch one instead.
Yeah,
You will.
he did watch one, and then you.
I was like,
cancelled
nah,
on
I
him, didn't you?
can't fucking do this shit, mate. I'm going to see Resident Evil at weekend. Let's do that. So here we are. Got Sexy Knees on. I went to watch it with Sexy Knees last night. Resident Evil, Welcome to Raccoon City. The most anticipated film of the year.
I'd say of the decade.
I would too.
For me and Sexy Knees, yes. Because, oh boy. Let's dissect this shit.
Shit. Come on.
Mr. Pineapple didn't go and see it. But he's got some questions for us, Liam.
That's what I like to see.
I will be almost like a host. I will be emceeing this thing.
Yeah. Because it's a bit awkward to be in the cinema writing down pros and cons in it. So we're going to change up a bit, you know? Just Pineapple's going to say, like, what did you think of the characters in this film? And we're going to be like, some of them were alright. So what do you want to start with, Mr. P? What do you want to ask us?
Obvious first question. How many dogs are in this film?
2?
To the exact number.
2.
Two, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
Are they evil dogs or good dogs?
1 is evil. 1 starts out good and then turns evil.
Windows?
Yes.
Nice.
Do they jump through windows?
Car window. Does that count?
I'll allow it.
Oh, yeah, it does, doesn't it? Yeah.
So I
He's
guess
forgot half the film already.
no, that's the big question out of the way. Now let's get into the shit things like plot and how the acting was and stuff. So, does it pull plot-wise directly from the games, or is there like creative license and stuff, or
There's
There's-
like,
There's
how?
both.
Okay.
But creative license in the way that live. So it draws from 1 and 2, right? And the way he's done it is he started it off kind of the same, but then he's kind of molded them both together. And because every Resident Evil game does follow a formula to a point, you know, you start off in a location and then there's like puzzles and stuff, and then there's an underground base, and then there's explosions.
Yeah.
So he's molded 1 and 2 together, so all the characters kind of. Oh yeah, there will be spoilers throughout all this discussion.
That's fine by me.
All the characters kind of end in the same place, kind of thing. So I mean, the stuff that he has taken from the games, I think works really, really well. In my opinion, the way he's molded them both together works really, really well as well. Because obviously you got Leon and Claire from number 2. They end up in the same kind of end place as Chris and Jill, that kind of thing. When obviously in the games they don't ever meet until like Resi 6, mate. And that's just a whole new bag of fish.
Kind of fish.
Kind of tune.
So the plot of the film kind of merges together 1 and 2, like Tony just said. But that's kind of how the games operate in 2 and 3. So because they're on like it takes place over a certain number of nights. So while you're playing through games 2 and 3, you'll find things and go to similar places that you would do in each game. So that's
Yeah.
So the way they did it in the film is there's 2 different locations where the characters go to and from, which it worked as like in the film and the creative licensing, but the timelines were a bit strange because obviously 1 is set quite a bit before
2 and 3.
Yeah. And by doing that, well, I don't know if they'll ever get a sequel, but by doing it, it kind of messes up like the 3rd film or the 3rd game's timeline.
Right.
Yeah. So obviously Jill is a protagonist in number 3 and number 1. But this obviously ends it as number 3 would end in the timeline wise. So
Yeah.
it kind of just cuts all of Resident Evil 3 out. So that means we won't get Nemesis or anything like that. Which I don't mind, to be fair.
Unless they brought Nemesis in, but just in a different
location.
Yeah. Which I could see them doing. It's not like Raccoon City is like well, it's iconic, but it's not like it's needed for the actual film. I put it in air quotes there because
it's not a city.
It's
like
not a city.
A road.
It's like a town with 2 roads, whereas in the games it's an actual city, which is, I guess, what kind of makes it a bit more scary because you've got like, instead of, a town's worth of zombies are coming after me, I've got like a whole city's worth kind of thing. So it makes it a bit more dire.
Okay. So characters.
What was going on to characters, is he?
Do they stay true to what you wanted them to be? And favourites, least favourites, kind of. Let's get that out of the way.
I'm going to say my favourite and my least favourite, and then I'll let you fill in the rest if you want. My favourite is probably, in relation to the games, it's got to be Chris. But I did say before, when I watched the trailer and stuff, and when the images got released of him, Chris is not a hard character to get right because he's just a very by the book police officer, I guess.
Meathead soldier.
Yeah, I'm very generic looking. Robbie Amell plays him in this, and he's just really good. I feel like, when you watch game films and you're like, he's not even fucking heard of this game. What the fuck?
Yeah.
I feel like he may have played a few Resident Evil playthroughs as Chris kind of thing. It's just, I don't know, I just think he's really good and he stays true to the character. My least favourite is, again, in relation to the games, Wesker, because they change a lot about him. Because in the games he is an umbrella scientist who's like deep undercover kind of thing. And in this, he's very much just a guy who gets convinced by a lot of money to betray the group.
Okay.
It's not even like betray him in a big way either. It's just kind of like steal this.
Yeah, but he knows Raccoon City's going to explode and he doesn't tell anyone. So
True.
True. He's kind of like leaving him to die, isn't he? So.
But they couldn't. To be fair, they couldn't get out anyway because Umbrella, it's like a town that's built to for people to work at Umbrella facilities, which are there, and it's like a big pharmaceutical company, so they kind of control the town. So they like border it all off to then destroy it at 6 a.m., which is like the plot of the film. So even if he would have told them, they wouldn't have got out like alive anyway, unless they went with him, which they end up doing to an extent anyway.
Yeah.
They follow him, but yeah.
The other characters, I'd say. Well, what are your favourite and least favourite? Who's yours?
This is gonna be boring now because I might just say the same ones. Like,
No, it's fine if you say the same. So then we can just move on to the other characters.
who else was good? I think Claire were good as well, though.
Yeah, the story is very much focused around Chris and Claire rather than all the other characters.
I'll say Claire to be interesting. I think Claire was.
I think Claire's the main character, to be fair.
Yeah, I think she was a bit different from the games because in the game she's kind of like, well, the game was made in the 90s, so it's like very much like she and I don't know. I feel like she's kind of like a damsel in distress, but she kind of does everything herself in the games. She didn't have anyone help her, but she doesn't like come across as like a badass character either. So in the film, she definitely comes across as a badass character, though.
Yeah, she's like, I got a fucking shotgun and a motorbike, bitch.
Yeah,
come at me.
She's if you've seen the original Resident Evil films, she reminded me of Alice quite a bit because she does what she does, but better because she's actually a character and not just Paul Anderson's imagination running wild.
What about your least favourite? Is it Wesker?
I don't think he did a bad job as Wesker. I think it was just more what they made Wesker out to be, like you said.
Yeah, because Wesker's, I'd say, the fan favourite of the Resident Evil franchise.
Yeah, definitely.
And you want his campy kind of evil, conniving mastermind, don't you? Like we said after we watched it. But it's more, he's kind of a cool guy at the station and gets up with chicks, and he's like, I'm Wesker, bitch.
Right. Yeah,
and
it's
he
a bit
puts tomato sauce things on Leon's head and tells Jill to shoot him off. And
it's a bit weird to see Jill pining over Wesker.
Yeah, because there's like a weird love triangle going off, but he did an alright job of obviously that version of Wesker.
Yeah.
Like, he weren't bad in the role, but
No.
it's just obviously the translation from the game character to the film character.
Yeah.
But it didn't feel out of place for how the film.
No, it felt natural to the film, but unnatural to maybe the fans of the film, which is weird because a lot of that film was made for that film was not made for like average people who've never heard of Resident Evil before. That film's made for Resident Evil fans.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And
it's like one of my favourite scenes is like that opening bit where we're all in the diner and all of the characters are just there. Like, you got Leon, Jill, Chris, Wesker, and it's just them kind of Richard. Yeah. Then kind of chilling.
Barry though. Where's Barry?
Barry's not in it. Should we talk about all the characters then? Let's go to your main man, Leon S. Kennedy. He is the comic relief for this film.
Right. Okay.
For me it works. I like it because casting wise, right, the casting's shit for the film in relation to what you imagine your game characters to look like on screen. It's shit. They don't look like them.
Is that maybe like Wesker and Chris, arguably?
Yeah. And Claire does, to be fair.
Yeah, Claire. Although she's not like a redhead, so there's that too.
Yeah.
But that doesn't really matter, I guess, in the grand scheme of things.
But Leon, he's very much the rookie that everyone knows him as to be. Because, to be fair, his character in every game that he's in is like, quotes the fucking date of Resident Evil 2 and goes, first day on the job, blah, blah, blah. I'm Leon S. Kennedy. But in this, it's kind of fun because they take that and just run with it. because he don't know what the fuck he's doing. He don't really know how to shoot guns and shit, and he's just a bit shit. But
Has
it's
he not
funny.
been to police school to learn all this?
No, because his dad is like a high up in the police rankings, and he got him the job. You see in this
Right.
So
After
he's
he
a rookie
shot his partner in the bum. That's
yeah. But I like it because he's that kind of the audience perspective. Because every other fucking line that he's got is what the fuck is going off.
yeah, basically.
It's fun, and you know he doesn't, as the games put him in that situation when he's just like the best that he can be. He goes into it and he is actually a rookie, and
Yeah.
he's not the best. He's not like fucking suplexing people and shit. But he does get better as the film goes on, and he like learns how to do stuff, which is cool. But I think the main gripe people have got with this film is Leon, and I can see why, because he's the fan. Again, he's probably the fan favorite in terms of protagonists.
You've got like two kind of fans of Resident Evil, where you've got fans of the trilogy, the 1, 2, 3, which are like, oh, we like survival horror, this is really cool. So you get like even though Leon is in 2, Leon isn't known, like they don't like Leon in 2, they like Leon in Resident Evil 4. Like, so you've got the proper survival horror, which is Leon, Chris, Jill, Claire. So you've got those fans, which will probably, I don't know, they're the kind of people who preferred 7 over 8. And then you've got Resident Evil 4 fans, which like Resident Evil 4, 5, 6, and 8-ish, yeah, for 6. But like, because once 4 came out, the game turned from, I have limited ammo, I can only kill this many enemies, there's only this much ammo in the game, I only have this much healing, to how many people can I headshot in a row and suplex in a row and kick in the face until I become bored of this game. And that's what 4, 5. And don't get me wrong, they're like fun games to play, but they're not. I don't want to say they're not Resident Evil games. They're not survival horror. They're not survival horror games. They're more actiony. No. Especially 5. Like 5 gets a lot of flack for being maybe the worst well, apart from 6, but the worst Resident Evil game. But 5's like a really good like co-op, fun mess around. Like it's got
the best co-op games out there.
Yeah, it's got good progression. You can like upgrade your weapons, you shoot things. It's fun. It's fun to play. There's secrets in the game. There's puzzles. It's a good game, but it's like action. So when these people who have like seen Leon suplexing everyone, coming out with one-liners which are like really funny, but not like they're funny about the situation rather than himself. And then they go into this film and like every line is, Leon, you're such a dumbass, like that. And it's like, and then the whole, like every cast member who's on screen at that point starts laughing at Leon. So that's basically what happens.
I like it.
He likes it because he hates Leon, but
I don't hate Leon. I love Leon. He's a cool fucking game character, but when he's been put on this pedestal,
yeah,
when the director comes in and he's like, you know what? Every other character in the film is going to rip the shit out of him. Let's go for it. And especially when Chief Irons is like, what the fuck are you doing in this meeting? Who's going to watch the door, you dumbass? Get back out there. And he's like, oh, sorry. It's good. It's good stuff.
I think it represents, well, at least the stereotypes that are in a lot of like cop drama shows and stuff like that, where the rookie always gets like hazed and stuff like that, yeah.
But yeah, I like it. For this film, it worked for me. Obviously, I get why people don't like it, but then people can fuck off.
Who's next?
Jill.
Jill is a badass.
Jill's very one-toned.
She shoots things.
She does shoot things. That's about it.
Not much going on with Jill, is there?
No. They've kind of put her to the sideline, haven't they?
Yeah.
They've gone, all we need is just a badass. I get it, because everyone knows Jill's a badass. You know, you pick to play Jill over Chris, well, some people do. Well, most people do in the
Smart
first Resident
people
Evil. And people just know her as being a badass. You know, in Resident Evil 3, she got a fucking machine gun and she's wearing her, like, short skirt. She's like, look at me, I'm fucking cool.
Beating the shit out of the scary, well, arguably the most terrifying monster in the Resident Evil franchise. So.
So I feel like they got away with Jill, to be fair. They didn't really need to do much. She was just there because people needed her there. She was cool.
Yeah.
I like how she was going to shoot Leon in the head. That was fun.
Yep. I think that would have shortened the film quite significantly. But
who else we got?
Richard.
Richard, he's in it. We thought he was Barry until he dies, and then Chris goes, Richard! I'm like, oh, it's not Barry.
It's Richard. It did, looking back at it, made sense, because Richard has the shotgun, and that's where you get the shotgun from in the game, so kind of makes sense that way. There's some new people, I think.
Well, let's talk about Chief Irons, shall we?
Yeah, if you want.
The head of the RPD, played by the man out of Things.
Oh, yes, the man out of Things.
He's in Gotham. Have you watched Gotham?
I've seen a few episodes.
He plays Jim Corden's partner. He's on. Yeah, I know he's in other things.
I'm not too sure of that.
He's in Vikings. I know that.
I've heard of that.
But he's really good as Chief Irons because he's really good at just being a arsehole.
I recognise his voice from. I feel like it's in a. Does he do some like animated voice acting for something? Because I recognised it from something. Probably. I'll have a quick look while you're talking.
I was just going to say he's a massive arsehole. That's it. They do change him in the games because in the games he's a little scumbag. He does start off like that. He's like, yo, Leon, you look after the RPD. I'm fucking off, mate. Goodbye. And then he's like, can't I come with? No, fuck off. I'm going. And then they drive to the border. Well, he drives to the border of Raccoon City, and then Umbrella operatives are there that look like Hunk, which is cool. And they're like shooting people down who are trying to get out of Raccoon City, which is even cooler. I really like that bit. Then he goes back, and then he becomes a good guy from then on. Like, he shows them how to get into the underground facility and stuff. But yeah, Chief Irons, he's alright.
Yeah, very different from the game. In the game, he works for Umbrella rather than being his own man. And he's like, well, they're trying to get Sherry out, which is Dr. Birkin's daughter.
Let's talk about William Birkin then, shall we?
Sure. So Birkin starts out as, well, he is the scientist, the head scientist for Umbrella. He's been, in this film, he's been up to experimenting on children.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh,
which is different from the game. From the games, I don't know if you get that much backstory. I've never like deeply read into the notes of the games because sometimes they're a bit overwhelming. But plot of number 2, he's basically he's developing this G virus for Umbrella, which is the better version of the T virus, which turns people into zombies and whatnot. But the G virus like heavily mutates people into big, monstrous, strong things with lots of eyeballs. And scientists, well, Umbrella come to take the G virus off him, and he's like, "Nah, I'm not having that." And then injects himself, and then kills everyone, and then goes on a mass, like, slowly turns into this bigger creature throughout the game that kind of like appears in different areas, which is cool. In the film, he is experimenting on children, and then
because this part highly ties into Lisa Trevor.
Yeah.
Is Lisa involved?
Yes.
Right.
So from what I can tell, is Birkin experimented on Lisa, and basically there's like an orphanage, and the experiments on the kids from the orphanage.
And Chris and Claire are also in the orphanage as well.
Yeah, they like
which is it's pretty cool. They take liberties by just making them orphans, I guess, and putting them, because you don't really hear much about their backstory at all, like their parents' wise and stuff. So he's just taking that and put them into the orphanage where Lisa Trevor is. It's a bit weird, but
there's basically like a shortcut through the orphanage to the mansion where Lisa Trevor is, obviously from the first game.
yeah.
But yeah, apart from, I think Birkin is pretty like solid to the games. Apart from that, like I don't think he created Lisa. I think that was more like the regular scientists at Spencer's mansion.
Yeah, they don't mention the scientist who did it, did they?
No.
But in the games, obviously, Lisa's experimented on after her dad dies.
Yeah.
Right? They kill her dad, who's a scientist who goes to live at the mansion. And then after they kill the dad, they take Lisa and experiment on her and her mum. Right? Is that what happens? Pretty sure.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then her mum dies, and then she wears her mum's head and weird stuff like that.
Yeah.
But Birkin was really good. Like, I think he did Birkin well. Like, he was scary to his own family when they realised what he was up to. Like, classic evil scientist, like, bad guy, but good guy to his family until they realise.
Yeah, definitely.
Until they realise how horrible he is.
And the I don't know if it was practical. Was it practical? I think some of it was practical, right? His arm, where he first transforms.
I think it must have been, because the way, I don't know, the way it moved seemed, but I guess they can do that with mocap stuff these days, can't they?
But anyway, it looked pretty cool.
It looked good.
Pretty good.
We've covered characters, you know.
Yeah.
As you were mentioning earlier about, you know, that middle period is more action heavy, the early ones are more horror-y and whatnot.
Yeah.
How does this film straddle that? Is it like more horror-oriented or action-y kind of?
I think it does it quite well. Like, there's a good balance between the two. I think it's definitely like the beginning half of the film is very much like building this atmosphere of you don't really know what's going on, especially as a fan going in, because it's a lot different to, well, not some parts are a lot different. So when you first like watching it and you're seeing Lisa Trevor in this orphanage, it's all brand new to you. But it does a good like horror building up that part of the film, and then you start to meet the characters and introduces them slowly. And then when they get to the mansion, it's like those were some of the best bits of the film, in my opinion. Like Chris and Richard and Jill and Wesker going through the mansion and it being like this claustrophobic space where it's all dimly lit. They see the first zombie and it don't care about bullets. They put so many bullets into him until he goes down, and then they're like, what the fuck is going on here? And then like all the zombies appear, and then there's this great scene where it's like pitch black, but it's getting lit by the gunshots of Chris.
Okay.
So and he's just taking down these zombies while going through this corridor and
stabbing them in chest and like bah, bah, bah.
And then he's trying to light his lighter to get light so he can see, and it's like those bits were the scarier parts of the film, and I think they did them really well. Do you want to talk about the actiony bits?
It's weird because there is a mix. I mean, when they first get into the mansion, everyone's got like machine guns, which was a bit odd. But then Chris loses his after, because there's a lot more zombies in the mansion than there is obviously in the game. But I do like the zombies in it are true to the game, like the slow zombies.
That's good.
And the practical effects on them do remind me of stuff like Dawn of the Dead and stuff like that. Yeah.
Right.
Like the more like weirdly human look. Like it's weird because I've gone to zombies now, but I don't care. Like when they first change, they can still kind of speak.
Right.
Like there's a few outside the police department who are like shouting letters in and stuff while still mutating into zombies, which were pretty cool. But I think the look of the zombies, because of that balance between just died to kind of like really decomposed kind of stuff. I just thought it looked really cool, practical effects on them. But the action, I really enjoyed the crisp bit, like what you've just talked about. I was just trying to think. It's more setting the scene in the film, to be fair, than big action set pieces. And it's more they care more about referencing the games, I think, more than setting up these big, cool looking action bits. But I'd say they've got a good mix of spooky and actiony.
Especially the music. The music were really good in that film. Like a lot of it, you can tell if you play through Resident Evil 2 remake, when Mr. X shows up and you get that kind of like, it's like distorted music, and then like the music kicks in to like as he chases you through the police department. Like that was, you could tell they've like taken some influence from that, because a lot of the songs kind of sounded like that, where they have this like distorted beginning and then the music kicks in. But like the music for some of the places were like really good. Like it just proper match the tone of the film really well.
Good. So you mentioned the big boy there. You know, are the villains, the monsters in this, just the small boy zombies, or have we got any big fuckers, or you know what we're working with?
Well, the main missing ones from the game, because it's obviously 1 and 2. You don't have the giant snake. You don't have any giant spiders. We don't have a giant shark. We don't have a giant alligator, or any kind of like weird sewer monsters and shit like that. We have zombies. We have zombie dogs, and Least Trevor.
Lickers.
Right. And we have Birkin. That's it, right?
I think that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they do. It's funny. Like at the beginning scene that Tony was talking about earlier, where they're all in this diner together, Jill says some very game referencing lines.
Oh yeah.
And she's like, "What would you rather get eaten by, a giant snake or a giant shark?" And it's like, oh my god. Like I knew from a film perspective, putting like a giant snake or a giant shark could feel like a bit over the top anyway. So I didn't particularly expect those to be in it, but I did appreciate the reference to it. I think if there's one enemy I'm disappointed wasn't in the film, it'd definitely be hunters. But they did, again, like they reference those when Sherry was in a bed talking about, she says she has a nightmare where she saw a creature with green and big eyes and massive teeth and claws, and I was like, yep, that's a hunter. So I can't be too mad at them, because obviously the film didn't have the biggest budget in the world.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think the budget stopped that mostly, but the references in the film I really enjoyed. Normally when we try and put them in, they're very cringy and horrible, but I think that first scene set the tone of the film, because obviously Resident Evil, we've always said it's very campy horror,
B-movie type stuff in it.
Yeah. So if any film's going to get away with it, it's going to be Resident Evil. I mean, there's references to Jill Sandwich, which just...
Is there? That's good. Yeah. That's good.
Because Wesker's eating a sandwich, and then Jill takes it off him. She's like, it's a Jill sandwich now. It's like, oh, nice. Nice.
Excellent.
Like you said, there's references to the giant snake and the giant shark. What else? I think the first zombie one of the first zombies that we see is right in, because like I say, it's that transformation from being human to being a zombie. They're still kind of in control. They're writing "itchy, tasty" in blood on the window, which is obviously a reference to the diary, the famous diary entry. The itchy, itchy, scratchy, scratchy. He had a nice face, so he ate him, kind of thing. And that comes from a weird old woman who's got some fucking hair loss or some shit. But yeah, that's pretty cool. What other references? Like the hunter. I think that's it. Is that it?
Moonlight Sonata on the
Oh yeah.
on the. See, when that scene happened, I were expecting Wesker to start playing and not be able to do it, and then Jill to do it afterwards, because obviously when you play through Resident Evil 1, Chris can't play the song and he gets Rebecca to do it, but Jill can. So I was expecting that to kind of happen, because Jill and Wesker go off together and they find this room. But I think
So you got the piano playing. Wesker's also got like this little like GPS thing, which is just carbon copy of like the Resident Evil map from the game, which is pretty cool.
Because he's like being directed by this unknown source. Who are like, go do this mission for us, and he's like, okay. Then he gets this data drive thing with the map. But it did look, when I saw it, I was like, oh, it's the map. That's so cool.
But yeah, the reference is good. And Leon says Jill's line from Resident Evil 3 about the you ugly bastard or something, about the main boss battle, if you will. But yeah, it's cool. It's cool stuff.
So we've had a good discussion there. They're sort of the only questions I really had. So I guess, what other thoughts, feelings do you guys have that I've not brought up?
I mean, I think this film is just a director having the most fun he can possibly have.
Yeah.
I think he knows, like, I've only got one shot at this. This is a film I've wanted to make for ages. True to the story, well, kind of Resident Evil film, where he's mixed two games, which is a bit ambitious thing anyway, mixing two games in an hour and 40 film. And he's just thought, fuck it, throw everything at the wall, and we'll see what lands. And I think he's pulled off an alright film.
Okay.
I really enjoyed it. I really had fun with it.
I think a lot of people have gone into this film expecting a masterpiece and like been disappointed by it. But like, I think if you play like the original games, I think this comes back to what I was saying about fans of the original games versus fans of like 4, 5, 6. Is in those original games, they're all like this campy, stupid horror like film, like Tony was saying earlier, and you're not gonna. Whereas 4, 5, 6 is more serious, like. You're not going to get if the director wanted to stay as close to the films as he could, he was going to go that campy route, which I think works better in horror for this kind of film anyway. Because if they went all serious, it would have just been shit. Like, at least you can have fun with it. Like, it's not a masterpiece of a film, but it's a good representation of the games, and it's a good watch. It's a lot of fun. And I think if you're any fan of the game, then you're going to enjoy it. And I think if you're not a fan of the game and you enjoy campy horror, you're going to enjoy it.
You enjoy having a laugh, you know what I mean? It's going to be fun.
I feel like you've summed up pretty well there.
Yeah.
One more reference I will say. This is like big spoiler for the end of the film, but we get the classic kills the main boss with the rocket launcher, which is great.
Right. Yeah. Right. So final question. Does it set up for a sequel?
It does.
It does.
Right.
It's a post-credit scene.
Okay.
Because Wesker gets shot bang bang to dead.
Yeah.
Town. But then another reference. Because in the like the main title scene of Resident Evil, there's a body bag that leans up. And it's like, and then they shoot it back down. In this, the body bag's on the table and he leans up and he's like, and he gets out and then it's Wesker and then he falls on the floor and then he like crawls to the side and he's like, my eyes. And then you get the big gal, don't you? Ada Wong, mate.
The bitch in the red dress.
She's like, yeah, put on these glasses. And he's like, oh shit, I've got me Wesker glasses. And she's like, we had to rip your eyeballs out to bring you back alive or some shit.
I think it's more. I think it's more of like he died. He got infected with the G virus, which is what happens in the games, and comes back to life, which is exactly what happens in the games, except instead of getting shot, he gets stabbed by Tyrant.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they set him up to be. Well, they've obviously set him up to be like the villain of the next film, whether that happens or not.
I hope it happens because I had so much fun with this film, and I can just imagine that actor in a trench coat
Saying campy, stupid lines like "Chris, I've always hated you, Chris."
because it sets Chris and Wesker's relationship up. It's cool.
As
Like they are
it.
friends in this film, and now obviously we're like, "Fuck you, Wesker." Oh yeah, Jill shoots Wesker dead. By the way,
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Yeah. Oh, it's good shit. It's good shit.
So I guess it's ratings time.
I'll let you go first.
Are we out of 10 or out of 5? I'm not.
7.
Out of
7.
7.
Have you never
Oh, right.
listened to the podcast? Sir?
Hold on, I'm getting a call on the other line. So out of 7,
You can do 0.5s as well.
I think it's made for a very specific audience, like of horror. Like if you go into horror and you're like, I really want to be scared of this film, like I think you're going to be a bit disappointed. Because some people go into horror and they're like, I don't want any jokes. I want this to be deadly serious and scary. And I think if you go into expecting that, you're going to be disappointed. But I think if you go into expecting, I'm going to have fun with this film, like I do with a lot of horror films, because I spend my days watching endless shit horror films for most of my time. I think I'd give it like, in terms of bad horror films, probably like a good 6 out of 7. Like, it's a really entertaining watch, especially if you're a fan of the series.
Nice.
Nice. I'm going to give it 6.5.
Oof.
I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun. But I can't ignore it. I think it does fall apart in the final act, especially.
Right.
I mean, the very final like 5 minutes of the film, love it. But just the setup of kind of getting them two stories to coincide and stuff, I think were a bit shit. But I didn't care because I was loving it, and I think the biggest turnaround for me was Leon, because I actually enjoyed his performance. Because when I saw him in the trailers, I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. But, they did something different with him, and I really enjoyed it. So, yeah, 6.5.
Can we talk about one more reference before we end?
This guy.
I just want to say the Ashford twins reference, because we didn't talk about it, which is the intro to Code Veronica cutscene gets played on a tape recorder. Well, is it a tape recorder? Like a film reel kind of thing.
Right.
And it's great. Like, Code Veronica is one of those games that's kind of been forgotten to past, even though it's like it was made at the end of the era of fixed camera tank control games, which is
It's like
before
the second highest rated Resident Evil game on Metacritic.
Yeah, and it's like a big fan favorite, and it's just been forgotten about by Capcom and a lot of people because people had very different experiences with that game, which I'll not go into because it'd be too long for me to. But there was the intro, which was great. It was nice to see Code Veronica reference because, like I said, big fan favorite.
Yeah,
and with Claire and Chris kind of being the main protagonists of this, I'd say if you were going to go in any direction, it'd probably be Code Veronica. Like, I don't know why you'd put the Ashford twins in there if he weren't going to want to go down that route of Code Veronica.
Yeah.
Yes, he has stated that he just want to do that in a sequel.
Has it?
Yeah.
Nice.
That would make sense.
But I'd just like to, I forgot to do it at the start, I want to bring up some stats that this film has been getting,
Yeah.
You gave it 6 and a 6.5. Empire Magazine gave it 2 out of 5. It's got 5.6 out of 10 on IMDb. And you won't be happy with the Rotten Tomatoes score. It's 28%.
Yeah,
That's very low. It's very, very low.
Fuck them, mate. That's what I'd say. They gave Endgame like a really high score, so...
They gave it like 5.
Wait, what?
I thought you were on about Empire.
No, I'm on about Rotten Tomatoes.
But no, it only cost 25 million to make,
I think it did well with the
schlocky
budget.
B-movie type stuff,
Exactly.
Still a big budget, like, don't get me wrong. But It sounds really fun, and I'm looking forward to watching it when I get a chance.
I did. I
As
did
soon
come
as
out
it
there
came out of
thinking-
cinema, it was like, Ryan, I mean, Miss P is going to love this.
So I'm excited to watch it.
especially
that's-
if you're not a
yeah.
massive Resident Evil fan as well. I feel like you wouldn't care if the characters look.
Yeah, that's
different.
it. The only one I've really I've seen playthroughs and stuff, of like 1, 2, 3 and that, but the only one I've really played is 4.
Yeah.
So and I like the fucking shitty fucking films that they've already made for the most part.
So if you like them, then you got to like this because
Yeah.
it's a lot better.
So
I think this film's going to fall, like, review-wise, though, especially from fans, it's going to fall into that, like you were saying about the casting weren't great. It's gonna like, people are not gonna like this film just because of the casting and probably won't even watch it.
yeah.
Like, some fans will just be like that, and then they'll tank review scores just because of that. I can remember when they were announced the cast and people were already mad at the film then
Yeah.
because of, well, neckbeardy reasons, but yeah.
Yeah, that's Resident Evil. We took a deep dive into that, didn't we? Jesus.
It's nice to do a different format there as well. I
Yeah,
enjoyed MCing that.
cool. Do you want to do your weird news or because
Nope,
we need to?
We're running late.
Yeah,
No
we need to
news
wrap it up,
today.
don't we?
I'll just say Gwar, the band, they helped a fan find his prosthetic leg in a mosh pit recently. Check out the news. They're a good band. Good people.
Nice. Well, no awareness, no nothing. Fuck you, Seaton. Say it then.
Fuck you, Seaton.
Nice. And stay fresh.
Stay fresh.
Stay fresh.